Next on The Professional Rule Breaker.
This is Brandon Gano from Whadif Consulting. I love the Professional Rule Breaker podcast because there's no rules, right? Life with rules is just a little bit boring, and we should get outside of them and break them so we can have more fun, grow our businesses. But so dive in, leave your comments down below. Can't wait to hear from you.
Well, welcome back to the Professional Rule Breaker podcast. I am your host, Kathy Walterhouse, and you all know that here at the Professional Rule Breaker, we are here to help you get to the next level, to help you succeed. So that's one of the reasons I have my next guest, because my next guest is an entrepreneur who turned his frustration into a successful business. He built it, he franchised it, and then he sold it for a big profit. And now he has a business partner, and he has started something called Whadif. And he's using his unprecedented approach to educate and empower small businesses to achieve the business growth that they have always wanted. So I want to welcome my next guest, Brandon Gano.
Kathy, thank you so much for having me. I sound amazing based on that bio, so the listener will be the judge by the end of this episode, but so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're going to prove to be amazing. I don't think you have any shortage of amazingness, but I wanted to dig in to this company that now that you have a partnership with, Whadif, which I think is an amazing name because it kind of caught my eye when I first saw it. I was like, it made me think, oh, what is that? So why don't you tell me a little bit about the company?
Yeah, so we are a business consulting firm. We do fractional COO work, and really we call ourselves a business accelerator. So we want to help our clients grow their businesses as quickly as possible, but more importantly, with a sound structure that you can actually scale. So yes, the name gets us a lot of attention. People love it. It's me and my business partner are from New Jersey. He came up with the name because he's got a background as a lawyer, and you can't trademark the phrase "what if." But of course, all good things start with that question, right? What if? So he said, all right, how do we say this in New Jerseyese? And it's what if. So he made it one word. He put it WHADIF. And yeah, that's what we do. We start with that question.
Yeah, it's the best. And then even for the folks that are just listening, not watching, you have this big, like upside down question mark that is all lit up, which, I mean, it's perfect. It's like the perfect logo for what it is that you do.
Absolutely. Well, it's got two parts, right? So it's the upside down question mark because we like to turn questions on their heads, ask the unasked questions to get better answers.
Ooh,
And then the
love
top,
that.
if you're not listening or if you're not watching, I'll try to describe it. If you imagine an upside down question mark, instead of a period, it's a play button. Because if you're not having fun in business, if you're not playing, you're in the wrong sport. Like, we just believe that you should be having fun with everything you do in life, but definitely in business, it just makes it more enjoyable.
Oh, you know what? And I saw that, but until you said that, it didn't like I didn't realize that was a play button. So that is perfect. So whoever developed your logo is like a genius.
Not me. I can't take any credit for that. But yes,
No.
let's play, Kathy. Let's have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I saw something that caught my eye. It was about clarity and how clarity helps you grow. So let's talk about that because I'm 1,000% behind that.
Yeah, so that's one of the three things that we always say we provide to entrepreneurs. So the three things real quick: clarity, confidence, community. That's at its root. That's what we believe all business owners want. You could say you want more money, you want more time. I still think we can boil down to those three things. Those are kind of outcomes. These are the root of what you're looking for. So clarity. When you go to the doctor, Kathy, if you were to walk in, let's say that you have a headache, would you go into your general physician and say, Doc, I have an aneurysm, you got to cut my head off? Like, that's the
Yeah.
only way to fix it. No, obviously, you would never walk into, and even if you did, it's a general physician. They would say, first of all, cutting your head off is not going to solve that problem. Second of all, I'm really not a neurosurgeon. Like, I'm not going to cut your head open. Maybe we should evaluate what's going on first. So they're going to
Take two
do,
aspirins too. Yeah, or whatever,
yeah,
too.
well, okay. I would
And so they're
like to
not looking
think
for
they're going
the,
to,
yeah, it's not the cause of it. Yeah.
correct. Yeah. I would like to think they're going to ask you questions. They will probably result to just prescribing something. That's different topic for a different day. That's how I feel about doctors, but they're going to ask a couple questions, say, what's going on? Like, what, your head hurts. Okay. When did this start? All that fun stuff. They're going to diagnose the root cause. So that's the clarity piece. After those few questions, those few minutes, a good doctor, not all doctors, will say, you have a splinter in your left thumb. And I think if we just take that out, like that's probably causing some of your headaches. You're not going to leave with your head cut off, but that's what most business owners do. They have a lead problem. They have a cash flow problem. They have a people problem in HR, and they think the symptom is the problem. Well, that to us is just a backwards way of approaching it. You don't just fire people because you're having trouble with them. What's the real problem? What's the root cause? So we want to give people clarity and really understand by asking a number of different, very strategic and targeted questions. Where is this symptom actually being caused in the first place? So that's where we start with clarity. We have a diagnostic tool we actually give for free, but we use with our clients to understand where their symptoms are coming from, and then we can attack that instead of just continue to take aspirins and put band-aids on problems.
Okay. Is that because I saw something else as well? I think it was, what is your business trying to tell you? So, is in essence, using the same example, what's your body trying to tell you when you have that headache? Is it the same thing that when you have all these issues, your business is trying to tell you something?
Absolutely. Your business is always telling you something, and there's a number of different ways to get there. If you are an accountant or CPA, you're probably going to look at the financial documents. If you're in marketing, you're probably going to look at your ads data or whatever you're in charge of. What our job is as the COO, so you think about the structure of a company, right? You have the CEO at the top. In between the CEO and the rest of the organization really should be and is in most cases the COO, Chief Operations Officer. Under that is everything else. And not from a hierarchical perspective, but just saying, in order to go from vision to execution, you have to have somebody that can translate both ways. So the COO's job is to filter that out and provide an execution and a strategy plan in order to make the CEO's vision come to life. So when you ask, is your business trying to tell you something? It is just like the human body. At any time, if you feel pain, if you stub your toe, you're going to feel that in different parts of your body. Or if you sprain your ankle, for example, and you're limping for a little while, well, your back might start to hurt. Your business is connected much like the human body. You can't, when we separate it out into disciplines and or departments and silos, that's when things start to break in business because you're thinking, all right, we have a problem in the marketing department. It must be there. You would never say, I have a problem in the foot department, so I must look only at the foot. As a matter of fact, this happened to me a couple of years ago. And this is where I kind of started to put this together because I had one of my toes was swollen and it hurt. Like it really hurt to walk. I went to a podiatrist for way too many visits and they put me in casts and they injections and all this other fun stuff. And it turns out after literally 8 months, MRIs, CAT scans, everything, lot of expense, they were like, oh, you have psoriasis? You
Oh,
probably
gosh.
just have psoriatic arthritis and it's showing up here. And I was like, you
Mhm.
idiots. You didn't think to
Wow.
look at my medical chart and say there could be a correlation between several diseases and symptoms. So it's the same thing. When you look at your business in buckets or in departments, you're isolating where problems could come from and you're not seeing the whole picture.
Okay. So when your potential clients come to you, what is the, and I think I know your answer here, but I'd love to hear it. What is the most common thing that you're seeing? Hey there, you know I'm all about making a big difference, making this really big impact. So I am so thrilled to introduce to you today's podcast sponsor. They are the very last US family-owned manufacturer of consumer goods, products that you use every single day and you run out of them every single day. And on top of that, their products are healthier and safer for you, and they have been made here in the great USA. My family made the switch, and I am so happy that we did, and so is everyone else in the family, because the products are amazing. So while these big giant corporations are just getting bigger and so many small businesses are really struggling to survive, why not help me in rooting for the underdog? And you know, I'm all about the underdog instead of these giant 11 conglomerates that control 97% of the North American consumer goods market. So if you're ready to make a difference and switch away to something bigger and better, go to switchaway.com/rule breaker, drop your information, and one of my friends will reach out to you directly. And let's all switch away together to better quality products that are healthier and safer for you and support family-owned businesses, because together we can rewrite the business landscape and make a difference one person at a time.
The most common thing they're telling me, people come to us for two main reasons. There's something with their time. So they want more time, which really expresses itself as I'm overworked, I'm working too many hours, there's chaos on my calendar, or they want growth. So I want more money, I want more leads, I want more revenue, cash flow, whatever that may be. Those are the two buckets that they come to us with. And my response is always very politically correct. I smile and I nod and I say, that's a beautiful problem you've diagnosed yourself with. And then we dig deeper, and it's never, ever in those two areas.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So and as you dig deep, what are some of the questions that you might ask? I'm always curious, like when people are first meeting with folks, what are the type of questions that you ask?
Yeah, so you would think if someone's coming to us with a time problem, right? They're saying my calendar's overwhelmed, we would ask like, okay, what's your scheduling process? What's your policy for getting things on your calendar? Do you have structure in your day? We really don't ask those questions. Actually, I'll give you the 50 questions we ask. If you go to whadif.com, it's our assessment, our diagnostic that we ask. So it's 50 very
Okay.
strategic questions we ask in the 10 different disciplines of business. And by putting those pieces together, we can understand exactly where the problems show up. So I'll give you the secret sauce. No matter the problem, I have found 98 times out of 100, when people say they have a problem, it lies in what we call your navigation, your company's navigation. And
Okay.
it's because there's a disconnect between the founder, the CEO, the person who usually started the business, and the rest of the organization. Like, you have your own personal mission and purpose and why you started the business. And they've never told that to anybody. So people just show up to work and they get a paycheck and they go home and they do their job, but they don't really know why they're doing it. And worse than that, they don't know how it impacts them in their personal lives.
Yeah.
So for us, navigation is comprised of, it's traditionally called strategic planning, but it's comprised of three essential elements, and it's core values of the organization, mission, and vision. And when we go through our process with our clients, we not only develop those and make them useful and integrate them into the organization, but we also bring in all of the team members and relate their personal visions with the company vision, so they know as they perform their job and succeed, their personal life will also grow and succeed with the company. And when you have that buy-in, I mean, you could do almost anything as a company. Those other problems start to fade away because they were really caused by confusion.
One of the things you just said, because I think a lot of times in companies, they put the vision out there, they put the mission statement out there, they have meetings over there about the mission and the vision, but there's not that buy-in from the employees. But what I love that you said is you ask or you get the information from the employees about what is their mission as well, and how to kind of integrate both of those together, because I think then you'll get the buy-in. Because otherwise, it's silos, right? You have the leaders, quote unquote leaders over here, and then you have everyone else over here. Exactly what you said, just getting a paycheck. Maybe they just don't even care. Probably they're not super engaged in the company. But if you get the buy-in, I think everything changes.
Yeah, those people will fight for you. They'll fight for the
Yeah.
mission. They'll want to chase the vision. And we always say your mission and your vision, they're not pretty words on the wall. And if you
Mm-mm.
look up any big company, any Fortune 500 company's mission statement, it's terrible, quite frankly.
It
It's to
is.
shareholders
I'm
and
glad
Wall
you said
Street.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
they are awful. So that is not what we're saying to create. Like, no, we have a process to go through and actually create an effective statement that you can use and you should use. But yeah, if your whole team has not memorized what the mission and vision is, it's not being used. So that's a good filter to say, is mine effective? If every single person wasn't hired and fired in accordance to those two things and they're not in line with that, they're in their own personal lives, it's not being used effectively.
Yeah. So let me ask you, so what makes an effective mission statement?
It really causes buy-in. And it's two things. So it causes buy-in from your team, and it's something they want to chase, right? Your mission is why you go into battle, why you wake up every single day. And it's also a filter because it allows you to core values are a bigger filter for this, but it allows you to enter into partnerships, revenue streams, product lines, networking communities. If if your mission is used as the filter for how you operate, what you do, who you serve as clients, and who you hire as employees, that's when its true power is utilized. Again, to get away from the pretty words on the wall, to say that what if we exist to demonstrate the ease, joy, and fun of running a truly harmonious company. Harmonious is our business architecture that we install in our clients. Well, if we want to enter into a partnership with a company who really just wants to make business boring and bleak, and nobody wants to be there, not a good partnership for us. Ease,
No.
fun, joy. If we can't do those three things in this partnership, it's not a good partnership for us. Money's off the table. So it's something that's going to cause your employees to say, when we express that to potential COOs that come work with us, do you believe in these three things? Do you believe business can be fun? Do you believe you can express the joy of running a truly harmonious business to your clients when you're working with them? No, I hate business. I really just want to get a paycheck. Cool, you can't work here. This is not the place for you because we're going to have a party and we're going to grow businesses all at the same time. And if you can't do those two things, this is not a good fit. That's really the power of those type of statements.
It's interesting that you said that, because that's one of my pillars for selling is love what you do. And if you don't, then you got to go back and you have to kind of remember, there's a process to it, but remember, what was that spark? What was that thing? Whether it's your own business that you were like, oh, yes, this is going to be so cool. And I want to get this out for everyone. Or if you work for someone, wow, this is where I want to work. Because if you don't have that, you're going to hate every day. And it's going to be like a prison. And secondly, you're just, nothing's going to grow. You're not going to sell. It's just a bit of a mess if you feel like that. So I love that you said that. I do want to ask you, because some people mix up the difference between a vision statement and a mission statement. Can you clarify those?
All the time they mess them
Like,
up.
yeah, or they think
Um,
it's the same. And there's
yeah.
elements in both that are similar, but
Mhm.
I'd love for you to, let's give me a statement about that.
Yeah, so if you think they're the same, you're just not leveraging the power of them. And that's one of the reasons we separate them. So let's take a step back too and explain core values real quick. So everybody's heard the term core values, right? We want to build cultural core values. If you're a smaller company, they're probably in line with the founder, with your personal core values.
Mhm.
As your company and culture grows, they need to be more culturally accepted and get the buy-in from everybody on your team. I'm not saying inclusivity, like all people have the right ideas, all that stuff, but get feedback from other people, build the values that a lot of people hold dear to their hearts. The mission is, so that's the foundation, right? The mission is, like I said, why are you entering battle? What do you stand for? Why did this business come to exist in the first place? And a good way to think about it is, what is the injustice you're fighting in the marketplace?
Ooh, I like
It's
that.
yeah,
Love
it's a
that.
powerful statement, right? To say, we are here to fight this problem. We believe this problem exists. It is there. We know people struggle with it, and we solve that problem. And the other side of the mission statement is, it really explains your ideal customer. So it
Mhm.
says, we help this person solve this problem, and we fight for them to help them make this problem in their life go away. And this is, service businesses, manufacturing, product, retail, everything. If you approach your mission statement with that intentionality and focus and saying, we're fighting an injustice in the marketplace to help this person, this type of person win in their life. I mean, you can already I get excited talking about it. Like, you can picture the people showing up to your work who are
Mhm.
your employees who want to fight that mission every single
Yeah,
day.
absolutely. And I think you can even visualize when you say it, the person or the company or whatever it is that you are helping.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a
Yes.
really strong mission statement.
Yes. Talk about your
And I
clarity,
think,
right? Yeah.
yes, it's that clarity. And when you have that picture, gosh, it does so much for your business when you have that clarity, right? I know for me, clarity in sales, when you know who you are selling to, who your market is, and exactly the right customer, right? Or the right partner, because not everybody's going to be that. And you focus on that, all the angst and the everything that goes with sales. Sometimes people get scared, they have anxiety, they have, you name it, everything around sales. That all goes away, absolutely goes away. So I think even with what you're talking about with the big picture, gosh, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, and you think about, we'll address vision in a second because it is a separate and equally powerful
Mhm.
statement. But a lot of people in the marketing world, the marketing gurus, if you will, they talk about building the picture of your ideal customer, your ideal client. And yes, that's valid. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just saying it's in the wrong place. So they talk about doing that for your marketing. You need to do that for your business, because if your entire business structure, if your processes, if your automation, if your contracts, if your HR, your hiring processes are not designed to serve your ideal client, your business begins to fall apart. So your ideal customer avatar is actually built for us in your company's navigation, which is the center, it's the hub of where all other business disciplines come from. And it has, when you keep that customer first approach, you can't stop those businesses. You just really can't. Customer experience, customer first focus are the most successful companies. Think about Zappos, like biggest companies in the world. When you get this stuff right, your company is just on another level.
Oh, absolutely. I actually did a test. So interesting you brought up Zappos. I actually did a test with them to see their response. I
Did
posted
they suck?
something.
Did you prove this all wrong?
No,
Oh,
it
thank
was
God.
quite the, yeah, no, it was quite the opposite. I posted something in social. This was a few years ago when they were really like coming into the market and they were being talked about and all that. I posted something, it was in social, and then I wrote like a blog post, or I wrote something about them. And they picked up on it like right away and respond. I mean, obviously they probably had like a Google search thing going on or whatever, but they responded, and it wasn't any type of automated, it wasn't anything. It was like a really thoughtful response. And I was like, bingo, these people have it going on.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell. You can tell when they do. And those companies, you just want to work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are the ones that you would want to partner with.
Mhm.
Not anybody that is going to cause you more stress
Yeah.
and lack of play, right? Uh,
It's important. It's got to be
it's
there.
absolutely important. I think you always, for everybody that's out there listening, you always have to be willing to walk away
Yeah. Yeah,
if it's not the right fit. Mhm.
that is harder to do, very hard in a lot of cases. And we've walked away from some really big things, but
Mhm.
without that core
Me
value
too.
alignment and the mission alignment, you shouldn't do it. And it should be an easy no, because it will
Yeah.
only end in disaster.
Yeah, it'll only end in disaster, strife, and you're just
Yeah.
going to be overall unhappy.
Maybe lawsuits. Yeah, don't go down that road.
Lawsuits, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. We don't even want to. Let's not even talk about that. We don't ever want to bring that towards any type of business. But okay, so let's talk about the vision statement then.
Mm. So vision, equally powerful. So we know why we're coming to work. We know who we serve. That's fantastic. But what happens inevitably, there are hard days in business. There are hard seasons. And of course, one of my favorite statements that always holds true is from the Bible. I'm sure you've heard it. Without a vision, the people will perish. And that is true in business. So the vision is that future calling, that future version of yourself. In business, it's the future version of the business. So we use the vision to put a metric in the future. So in 5 years, we use 5-year vision. We will serve this many clients, or we will impact this many lives, something like that, something measurable that we can show our team. Look, guys, we're marching towards this vision. We are getting there by executing our mission every single day. We are now 37% closer to our 5-year vision. We are right on track. But it's that compelling future that really pulls your team forward. So the mission is why you show up every single day and why you fight and who you fight for. The vision is saying, should we execute on this every single day for the next 5 years, we will be this version of ourselves in that time. So you're showing that you are evolving both as a company, but then, like I said before, you tie it to everybody on your team and their personal visions. So they know, okay, if I execute this company mission every single day, our company's going to be there, but look where my own personal life is going to be. And they know that if I leave this company, I may not achieve that personal vision. I may not be that future version of myself that I want to be. And you want to talk about employee retention. It's very expensive
Mhm.
to lose people.
Yes, it
You can
is.
retain people at a much lower market rate if there is that buy-in. Now, I'm not saying you should pay people less than they deserve, but we have seen time and time again that most companies don't do this, and that's why they lose employees and they have to pay exorbitant rates to people, exorbitant salaries. If people are tied to the mission and vision of your organization, everything else becomes less meaningful. I don't want to say meaningless, but far less important because they're
Mhm.
becoming a better version of themselves. And that's what we all want at our core. We want to grow as human beings. So make it possible for your team to do that by showing them your vision and their vision and how they align.
Yeah, absolutely. And its turnover is incredibly expensive and it's a disruption.
Yeah.
When you have to train somebody new, there's a disruption if they're customer facing. There's just so much about turnover that is just plain bad as well. So, yes, I love it when you have people that buy into your business and your vision because, what I have found is like I have the most amazing team in the whole wide world, and they'll bring great ideas to me, things that maybe I would never have thought of. Me being the professional rule breaker, thinking outside the box, I'm like, oh, that's great. So I think when you have that, it certainly opens up a lot of different things. So I want to ask you, in your experience, out of everything that you help implement with your clients, what is the hardest thing for clients to kind of buy into? Do you have something that you kind of, that there's a struggle, or maybe they just don't agree with as much, but if they did it, it would serve them?
It's so funny in the client journey. So the first thing we do is navigation, everything I just described. We're evaluating your core values, your mission, and your vision. It takes 2 to 4 weeks to evaluate, rebuild, and then implement in your organization. After we do that, phase two is then we start to strategize and execute. So strategizing is great. People love to
Mhm.
plan. They love to imagine where they're going to be and put details down on paper. So we have a very exhaustive process to go through and do that to make sure your organization is on track. And really, we want to move your goals from possible to inevitable. That's our whole focus. And through that process, we are extracting the owner from the business, from running the business, from being so involved from a time perspective. So we get the owner out of the business and they push back as soon as we go from strategy to execution. Not because they don't want to execute, but because our whole plan is focused on doing less. I always joke and I say it's the Charmin business model, right? Less is more. When we take our clients who are so used to being the entrepreneur who's built the business, who does everything, their fingers are in everything. There's some degree of micromanaging, whether you want to admit it or not, but you are involved in way too many things. And we say, you
Is
only have
everybody
to do,
listening out there?
yeah, I'm not calling you out, but
Or
I'm
watching? Yeah.
possibly calling you out. And it's okay. I've been there. Like, I just want to
I
say
think
that
we've
I
all
have
been
been,
there. We've all
we
been
have
there,
all
yes.
been there. The only way to grow your company is to get out of it, though. It's very counterintuitive, but it's true. So when we go from here's the plan, here's the execution map, here's what you and everyone on your team are going to do for the next 90 days. We work in quarterly sprints, 90-day sprints.
Okay.
We say you only have to do these 6 things every single day. And we very clearly identified what they are. It might be 3, might be 9, might be 6, whatever it is. It's a very small number of things. And they're used to doing 300 things a day and
Mhm.
task switching back and forth and being wildly unproductive. After about a week or two into that cycle, they say, this isn't working. This is stupid. I don't feel productive. I don't feel busy. I'm killing my business. And I say, that's cool. What data do you have to support that? And they're like,
Mm.
well, I'm not doing anything. I'm bored. And I was like, no, your squirrel brain is attacking you because you've never had this much focus and productivity. And I say, just please give me 2 more weeks. So that's exactly what they reluctantly go and do is they go back and execute for 2 more weeks. And then the conversation starts to shift from I'm bored, this isn't working, I want to try all these different things, to getting in a pattern of execution and then seeing results and seeing their teams start to flourish and take more things on, take more responsibility and decision making. And then they're bored because nobody's coming to them with problems, with fires, and they don't know what to do with themselves. And it's this existential crisis of who am I? Why do I even exist? Why did I start this business? We're like, just please leave, go on vacation or something, because you've built yourself a role where you are needed somewhat to serve your ego. And now that we've removed you from the conversation and removed you from the day-to-day operation and execution of your business, it doesn't need you because it shouldn't. So it's a very fun transition. I had a call with a client yesterday. She did exactly that. She's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, should I just go get a job? And I'm like, why? Your company is thriving. You're making money. Your team's happy. Like, why did that even enter your head? She's like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not doing as much as I used to. That's why you came to me because you were too busy. So you're welcome. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It's a funny transition. So it's again, it's backwards. It's like it's the exact result they think they wanted, but nobody's ever thought that it was possible to work so little and still achieve the success that they had, but also grow their company. So they want to like backfill that time with something. And
Mhm.
you actually have to, if you're going to get more time available to you, you have to be intentional about how you fill it because those thoughts do start to come in and you get confused almost.
Absolutely. I think it sounds like you really help them focus on their zone of genius. And then they have to, I would say, almost learn to trust
Yeah.
the people that they have surrounded themselves with. And if there isn't that trust, whether that maybe that person's not worth the trust or something like that, then there would have to be a change, right?
Yeah, they've built dependencies. It's not always trust or lack of trust. It's just, okay, so you think about all the processes flowing through your business, and then at some point they all come together and they need your approval or your stamp of a yes. And then they go back out to all the different people who handle it. You've built your business, and we work with clients who their revenue is in the low 7 figures, 1 to 5 million. Like we're talking big businesses, and
Mhm.
this is still present. You just need to see, okay, where do I really need to be involved? You said, what are my zone of geniuses?
Mhm.
Zones of genius, however you want to say that. Where do I actually add value to this organization and where am I a roadblock? And
Yeah.
separating those two things out is something you can't do when you have 1 or 2 employees always, but you've grown past that point. So now we need to be intentional about what that looks like and say, do you need to sign that contract or we have signing authority to somebody else? Because that's taking you away from your family vacation because you had to check that email. So it's those little things, but a lot of little things add up to be lots of big things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, I love how you mentioned the roadblock, that they can be a roadblock because nobody can move.
Yeah.
If it's set up so you're the one that has to okay everything or sign the checks or whatever it is, no one can move further until you do that. So I love that. But I also think sometimes owners, the people that started the business have tunnel vision where they see certain things, but they're missing the bigger picture.
Yeah, that goes back to the clarity piece
Mhm.
because yeah, they're so focused on one thing, whatever it is, revenue growth, profitability, hiring, managing a team. Maybe this is the first time in your life that you've gone from no employees to 10 to 25 to 50 and you're just trying to keep the whole thing together without falling off the rails because you're responsible for 50 families' food at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
it's scary, it's stressful, and you got to go back to that clarity piece and say, okay, where is my business? Where are the holes? Where are any problems or symptoms that are showing up? Where are they stemming from? And then how do I understand how to put the right people and processes in place to fix that, to make sure that is eliminated, and then we
Mhm.
can get back to growing the business.
Yeah, no, that's really great. Yeah, I love everything that you're talking about. It all makes sense. What is the biggest roadblock for you and your company right now in getting new potential customers to understand that this is a win for them? Just curious.
It does sound, we've heard this from a number of people. It sounds too good to be true,
Hmm.
because it's not the talk about rule breaker, right? Like the rule is you work 40 hours a week, and if you want to own a business and be an entrepreneur, you work 80,
Right?
and we're telling you to work 10 to 20 and
Mhm.
actually have a successful, growing, thriving business. So it sounds backwards. It sounds too good to be true. And then the other thing that we do that is just a personal philosophy of mine. Like I believe if I'm gonna get you a result, or if you're gonna pay me, I better get you the result because there's too many scams on the internet, and we've all fallen for them and seen them. Um, but all of our programs come with a money back guarantee or a promise that we work free until we achieve the outcome. So people are like, there's no way that's real. And that's kind of like when people answer the interview question with like, what's your greatest weakness? I'm too worried about perfection. I
Oh my
understand how that
gosh.
response just sounded to you, but
Yeah.
it really is hard to convince people. No, I will be a man of my word. I will get you the result I promised you. And I swear, doing less will get you more. But yeah, those two things come up for us over and over again. So I don't know, maybe we start by telling people you got to do 10 times more work and then you'll be successful and then you can work less, but we'll navigate those waters accordingly.
I think a lot of people think that's what they need to do to be successful is just work harder. But there's that saying, right? Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually funny because I was this morning, as of the recording of this interview, I saw on social media, everybody knows Alex Hormozy and Grant Cardone. I'm not going to offer opinions here, but the celebrity entrepreneur world does offer that exact mentality. And the video literally said, I was talking to Grant Cardone. This is Alex speaking. I was talking to Grant Cardone, and he said, oh, the difference between you and me is I put out way more content than you. You need to 10x your content output and then you'll have the following that I do on social media. And I was just like,
Oof.
obviously I scrolled down to the bottom and I was like, cool, 47,000 likes on this video. There are now 47,000 people that believe that in order to grow their business, they need to work 10 times harder and do 10 times more of everything because it's
Mm,
not just social media, it's everything, right?
yeah,
And this message is just, it's destroying people. It's destroying your life, your physical health, emotional health. You burn out, destroys
absolutely
relationships.
everything.
Awful. I hate it. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying when it comes to that because I think you just have to be smart about what it is that you're doing. Because if you are not serving yourself, there is no way that you're going to be able to serve your customers to the best of your ability. And putting out more content, just spamming, I probably shouldn't call it spamming, but just a lot more content without having it being strategic, it's a waste of time. It's absolutely a waste of time. And there's a lot of things about that whole thing I don't agree with. I don't agree with the sales method. I don't agree to a lot of those things. I'm
We
not
should do a
about,
different podcast episode on that one. I'm sure we could, yeah,
yeah.
we could talk about that for a while.
Oh, we could talk about that. Oh gosh, I think stuff like that gives sales a really bad name. drives me crazy.
Oh yeah.
For me, sales is something really noble. Is you are out there to help someone or help a company achieve something really great, whatever it is that would be great for them. It's not about, is it important for the salesperson to make money as well? Absolutely it is, but it's got to be a win-win. It's not ever about hitting somebody over the head and just cramming stuff down their throat that's probably not going to work for them. I hate that. Like, I really hate that. But you're right. That could be a whole another big episode.
We'll get that one on the calendar. Yes, that's
Yeah, we'll get that
talk
one
about
on the calendar.
it.
Yeah. I know there's so much I could talk to you about, but I love something that I saw that you wrote about always being a rule breaker, or you were born that way, or something like
Yeah, the
It's
question
funny
on
because
your
when I
how are you a
read
rule
that, I
breaker?
thought I hear like the Lady Gaga song going in the background, "Born That Way" or whatever. I don't know what the song means, but it was just so funny when I saw that. So tell me why.
I have never been compared in the same sentence to Lady Gaga. So I don't know fully how to feel about this, but I might use that to my advantage. I don't know, but we'll see.
Hit the play button. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So rule breaker, it's my parents have called me that in a very bad way for a long time. And it's one of those things that like literally is wrong as long as I could remember. I just always believed that there is a better way. And I won't accept the status quo for the answer. And I'm out to not to like prove the world wrong or anything, but I remember my first grade teacher, she used to call me the problem solver. And I didn't
Okay.
fully understand what that meant at 6 years old. I don't think any 6 year old would, but
No,
as I
right.
grew up and I started creating businesses in my teens and getting into entrepreneurship and then getting into the business world, like as an employee, and then creating my own business, I just found that there was always a better way. There was always an outside of the box, air quotes, way to solve a problem. And the more creative you could be with solving that problem, the more fun you could have, the more fun other people could have, and the more you could help other people too. So when you say the question was, how do you know? Literally, I was born this way. That's just how I operate, is literally to say, okay, what are the rules? I'm going to operate over there, and I'm going to probably get the same result in a better way. And then we can maybe make that the new rule. And some people love that. Some people hate that. A lot of people hate that. But for me, it's literally how I operate. So me and Lady Gaga, we were born this way.
That's right. That's right. Hey, and me too. I never like being the same as everyone else.
Mm.
And I find that the quote unquote rule breakers out there have that same kind of philosophy. They think exactly what you said, that there's got to be a better way. Whether something is going really great, because sometimes when companies, like when things are going great, they're like, let's leave it. Let's not touch it. Let's not do anything. And I think that's okay. But what if you could make a teeny little pivot because you thought of some different way of doing something? That might even skyrocket it even more, right?
Did you hear your question? You said, what if? What
Yeah.
if you could pivot it? Yes, we are
And I think I
professional
even
rule
said it,
breakers.
not what if, but what if?
You said, what
The
if? Yes,
Jersey
it's catching
way.
on. We're taking over the world.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So fun. I'm so glad that we were able to connect. This has been really a lot of fun, Brandon. Tell me, where can people find you?
So if you want to be a rule breaker in your own business, our whole goal, we've talked about it, is to get back your time, right? We want to give you in the next 90 days, how do you reclaim 50% of your time so that you can find the joy and the ease of running your business again, connect back to your why and have fun. Let's have fun running our business. So we put together a 3-part audio series. If you go to whatif.com/clarity, I'm sure it'll be in the show notes down below.
Mhm.
It's that 3-part audio series, total maybe 30 to 35 minutes of listening. It's actually interactive though. It'll take you through for your specific business. How do you know where you are? Let's give you that clarity. How do you develop that plan? Let's give you the confidence and then execute over those 90 days to reclaim your time. And on the backside of that, if you want the third C, if you want the community that I talked about, come hang out with us. That we have a community of fun entrepreneurs who are growing their businesses, not selling their souls and giving their time away, and they're actually having fun running their business. So those are the 3 C's, right? Clarity, confidence, and community. Whatif.com/clarity.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, we'll definitely have that information in the show notes for everyone to go ahead and download and listen, and even the community as well too, because I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, having a bunch of entrepreneurs and probably some rule breakers in there. I think that that's a pretty good mix. So I just want to thank you. It's been a lot of fun. And I know everybody that's out there that's listening really take to heart what Brandon said about, gosh, there's like so much clarity in your business, looking at what's possible to make it something that maybe can be inevitable in your business. There is just so much. I'd love to have you back sometime in the future so we could talk some more, so many different topics as well. And I have to tell you, you inspired me with you, not only with what you said, but I'm sitting here staring at your logo. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a light up logo just like that. Different, obviously, like with my logo, but I'm gonna have to do something like that too because it is just plain fun. So, again, thank
Well,
you
we're
so
all about.
much, Brandon, for being a guest here
Thank you
today.
so much for having me. This was too much fun. Yes, next episode is all the sleazy sales tactics that are out there. We're going to just debunk all of them. But Kathy, this was too much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again.